of a hiccup today. The paint sprayer, which I'm borrowing, is needed by the owner, and he's got first dibs because it's his, obviously. So there's no big deal, but we're not painting today. So backup plan is to work on the shipping container shop. I have to mill a whole bunch of lumber, so that's the plan. I'm gonna go fire the mill up and try and get some lumber. Hopefully the sprayer will be available tomorrow and the rest of the week, and I can get the shop painted, but sometimes you just got to change your plans. Yesterday was incredibly frustrating. Nothing seems to be going right this week. So the paint sprayer that was supposed to be available on Monday or Tuesday now won't be ready till Friday. So I'm going to be working on the mill a little bit more. Yesterday I was running the mill and it was just a fight the whole time. What should have taken about 45 minutes, which is kind of how long it usually takes to mill up a log, took me like 4 hours just fighting everything. And then the other frustrating thing is that this log isn't even really the nicest wood. So this is ponderosa pine, and I should have just looked at it. When you have massive knots in it, like this, it isn't the best wood. So like if I was gonna cut a 2x4 out of this, it would be right about here, and basically 3/4 of the 2x4 is a knot. So it's very little strength. You can kind of look at the trees and you can kind of see, like I'll zoom in here, that tree there has got just small branches all the way up until it gets higher. So I would use the bottom 20 feet of that tree, maybe the bottom 40 feet of that tree, and then the top half I would just burn as firewood. So that's what I dealt with yesterday. Today I'm just gonna be farting away, milling some more lumber. My blade is really dull, and that becomes really apparent when you start getting stuff like this. You can see my blade dove down as I was cutting. The blade, if it's not sharp, it hits a knot, and then it'll dive down. I hate working when you're frustrated. I'm just frustrated. Nothing seems to be going right this week. I want to start fresh tomorrow, so I'm gonna get a tree. This one right here. I'm gonna chop that tree down. I'm gonna cut it to length and get it ready for tomorrow. Then I'm gonna change the sawmill's blade and I'll be all ready to go. It's not probably the best idea to be dropping trees when you're frustrated and tired, but I mean, I need bloopers as well. You know, what's the worst that could happen, right? My chainsaw ran out of gas. Why wouldn't it today? Basically, I took the bottom 10 feet off, and then I marked out 16 feet, started cutting, and then she's dead. Anything above this is basically, you can see how many knots there are in this wood, and it's just not worth my time on the mill. It doesn't make nice wood. So this is all going to end up being firewood. When I was installing this blade, I realized why it's diving so much. Now it's missing a screw here. Now that isn't that's not supporting this blade, and it was allowing it to tip up and down. So I have to go get another. I gotta find another bolt to fit in that hole. So this is gonna be a project for tomorrow. Of course, there's always a million things to do, but I'm going inside for dinner. I'm going to go play with the kids for a little bit. And while I'm in there, I might do a little update on the worms. As you can remember in one of the previous videos, I was having some issues with fungus gnats. And I'll show you what's going on in there. So far, the mosquito dunks haven't worked. So some people are saying I need to use the mosquito bits, it's the same ingredient, just a different form. But I might have to see if I can get them brought in. Our store doesn't sell them here. These fly traps have done a fantastic job. You look at all those flies on there. Just covered. Especially the one up by the lake there. Just covered in these gnats. So these do a great job. So a few of the things I can try are filling these bins right to the top with a dry bedding, like shredded paper. Some people have suggested dry sand, which I think would just be a big mess, so I'm not doing that. Another option is using a torch and just put the bin under light, a really bright light, and let all the worms sink down a little bit, and then scoring the top quickly with a torch, which will burn up any of the larvae or flies emerging. I haven't quite decided if I'm going to try that. This experiment has been going for about 2 weeks. So I should be sifting these out and pulling some worms out. I've been so busy I haven't really had time to deal with it. So I'm most likely going to try and find some time to do that this weekend. Well, it's Thursday and we have the paint sprayer. So we are just quickly unrolling some more tarps. Everything's covered up. I wasn't supposed to get it till tomorrow, but the owners finished up a little ahead of schedule. And so today is painting day. Day 1. The whole floor is covered in tarps and poly and meat wrapping paper and all sorts of stuff. I have Hannah's bath cap, a set of latex gloves, some goggles, and I'm pretty much ready to go. Alright, so it's the next day, and coming to see it in the sunlight, I've realized that there's a bunch of spots that I went a little too thin. You see up there. There's a few random spots that I missed. It's hard to tell when you're painting at night, like if you've got enough coverage. So I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna touch up all these areas. I'm gonna spray some more primer on them. I'm gonna touch up these areas that I went a little too light, and then I'm gonna let it dry. Once I get this done, I'm gonna go back to the sawmill and I'm gonna clean up the mess I left there the other day and maybe get some boards milled. Alright, so I'm done painting. I was actually really wanting to get like an actual coat of paint done, but I'm glad I went back and touched up the primer because there were a bunch of spots that were pretty thin. I'm back out here with this tree that I dropped the other night. It's lying across one of our roads, so I gotta get it cleaned up. And I'll throw it back on the mill and we'll see if we can get some wood stock milled up. Beautiful day today, blue sky and sunshine. You know, it's usually like this every single day of the winter, pretty much. This year has been a cloudy, warm year. And I don't know why, but I sure do miss the nice days like this. Anyway, I'm gonna buck this tree up, get it all out of the way, and then I'll jump on the mill. I've got this bolt replaced right in there. That's gonna hold this thing steady. Shouldn't move anywhere, and that's gonna keep my blade on track. that was a huge success. That's 18 2x4s, 16 feet long, and this is beautiful lumber. This one's got hardly any knots. They're all real small. This is beautiful pine. Makes me feel a lot better putting it on the roof. Beautiful wood. Gives you such a good feeling when you're turning this wood that's just growing like a weed on your property, and you're turning it into something useful. Anyway, that's it for tonight. It's getting cold out here, so I'm gonna go outside, I'm gonna go inside, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow. Morning. It is a very chilly morning. I think it's minus 23, minus 24, which is pretty cold for us. It's been a very mild winter, and this is kind of our first real cold snap we've had. So I'm heading out to the eggs first thing, because in this type of weather, the eggs freeze really quick. So we'll probably grab them 2 or 3 times today instead of just grabbing them once. Hey chickens! Looks like we have a broody hen. She is not happy. You have to deal with her eventually. Oh, look at that. They're already frozen. It's 9 o'clock and the eggs are already frozen. Some of them. Relax, relax. Started out wearing glasses, but that did not last very long. It's impossible. Within 20 seconds, you can't see a thing. Okay, right there. But you can see what the result is. Well, I am done painting. It's starting to dry up here. It'll take a little while because it's actually kind of chilly up here. Now we have to start ripping all the plastic off the windows and doors. And then we can start cleaning up all the tarps and the drywall and everything on the ground. And start cleaning the floor. Once we clean the floor, we're going to stain it and put a sealer down before we start moving all of our stuff inside. we've cleaned twice. Cleaned this floor really, really well. And now we're gonna start staining. Hannah's coming out to help me. I'm gonna be spritzing it, and then she's gonna be wiping it with her Swiffer, which we found works really well. I'm gonna have to get a light set up here. It's getting kind of dark. Alright, we ended up doing 2 coats of stain. It turned out really, really nice. It still needs to dry a little bit. It's hard to tell because it's pretty dark in here. I'm just going off the one light, but it's a really, really nice color. Tomorrow we're going to be putting a sealer down, or Hannah's going to be putting a sealer down, and then we can start putting everything back together. But we are really happy with how this turned out. That is going to be it for this video. You'll see the rest next week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.